And welcome to another episode of Unzipped with Sherry, with yours truly. I am Sherry. Happy Wednesday to everyone. I hope you guys all had an amazing week. I'm really excited for today because I have Christine on the show, and Christine is like my East Coast spirit animal. She's a little firecracker, and I'm so excited because we just have so much fun when we're chatting. I've known her for a couple years now, and so we're going to talk all about her journey. So, Christine, I hope you're ready because we's about to get unzipped.
We all have a story on how we got here, right? So for me, I used to be over 350 pounds until one day I made the single decision that I wanted change. Weight loss surgery has saved my life, and now I am here for you. I want to hear your story. You know, the one that happened during that before and after picture. It's time to unzip. What's your story?
Hello.
Gorgeous.
Woo-hoo! We made it.
We made it.
We made it.
So should I talk about what happened yesterday?
Oh, that was crazy.
It
was crazy.
So I always like to make sure that we have a good connection before we do any show. And so Christine and I met yesterday, and like we were having a great time. The connection was good. I'm like, dude, we got no problem. And then literally out of nowhere, the screen goes black, gone. And I'm like,
we're hit by lightning.
So yeah,
literally
thunderstorm in the middle of freaking August in Jersey, right?
Rhode Island.
Oh, in Rhode Island. I'm sorry, in Rhode Island.
Roadie.
And then she just like freaking disappeared. I'm like, I'm hoping that this is not an omen for today, but I've been assured. What's the weather like today?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Humidity is gone. It's a beautiful day in Rhode Island.
All right. So if it's beautiful, clear skies, everything's good. If we have a thunderstorm within the next hour, just hide your kids, hide your wife, because there's something else going on right now.
Go underground.
Underground. Get into a bunker.
Yeah.
How's your day going today?
My day is going fabulous. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. I am so excited. I've been wanting for you to come on for a while now.
I didn't sleep last night.
Really? Because you were so excited?
I was like a little kid getting ready for our first day of school. I was so excited. It was funny.
I freaking love that so hard. So we have like so much to talk about. So quick story is, I believe you and I met about 2 years ago because you're 2 years out right now.
Actually, I'm just a few days shy. Today is the 10th, and my third year anniversary is August 22nd. Make 3 years.
No way.
I had the sleeve on August 22nd, 2019.
Oh my God, so it's almost your surgery.
So it is.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Well, first and foremost, what are we going to do to celebrate?
I don't know if we can talk about it on the show.
Oh, okay.
I think we might want to have this after the fact. After the fact.
We'll have a chat after the fact.
We'll need to have a show after this show.
We'll have a show within the show.
The surgiversary celebrations.
I freaking love that. So you and I actually met because you were one of the very first people who bought my book 3 years ago.
Fabulous read. Fabulous read. You were the first one that was so inspiring to me. And I was fresh off the table slab and wet behind the ears and new to the journey. I knew I was on the right path, but my God, I was at the mercy of Facebook groups and podcasts and things like that. And oh my God, you were a godsend to find. You've been so inspiring, and I can't thank you enough. Because your humor, your intelligence, your wit, you're inspiring. You never give up, or even if you have to give up, you do it with such class. You're a class act, girl.
Oh my God! Like my ego is like swelling so hard right now. But no, that literally truly.
But enough about you. Let's talk about me.
Yes, enough. Fucking love. Yes, fuck me today. It's all about Christine today, which is the whole purpose of this show. So first and foremost, what I'd like to pretty much ask everybody at this point is I kind of want you to tell people your origin story, like what life was like before you made the decision to have surgery.
It was not an easy upbringing growing up. I've been heavy most of my life.
Hmm.
Um, and the times that I wasn't heavy, because I did some form of watching my weight or dieting, only to regain that loss, even if it was a pretty substantial 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, gain
Yeah.
that all back and then some. It was like double down. And it just went on for years. I'd have a good spell of a weight loss, but then it lasted a couple months and then it was gone. And it wasn't a healthy weight loss. It was these diets. It was Jenny Craig. It was Nutrisystem. It was Herbalife. It was, oh my God, Woman's World. We didn't call it keto back then, but it was, low carbs,
Yeah.
higher fat, and but I've tried them all, only to lose weight. Yes, you will lose weight, but it's if you're not going to continue that lifestyle for the rest of your life, not going to work. It's going to come back on you. So I realized, in my middle, I'm 56 years old, but I decided around 50 years old when I became a grandmother that something has to give. And it was just one day that I was at my grandson's house, and he was not even 2 years old, but he was a little Spitfire, little Braden's a Spitfire, and he was racing cars, and he was racing them across the kitchen. He was on the floor, and he couldn't throw them to race them fast enough, and he's like, "Meme, come sit. Meme, sit. Meme, sit." And so Meme dragged a chair across the kitchen and sat down on the chair, but that wasn't enough for Braden. He was, "Meme, sit. Meme, sit," putting his hand on the ground, and he was actually getting upset, and it was upsetting me because
Yeah.
I knew I was pushing 300 pounds. I'm only 5'3" on a good day.
What a good
And
day.
yeah, it's a stretch, no pun intended. But yeah, I said to myself, I got to do something because I'm not going to disappoint this child ever again. That floor. I don't know. It's going to take the fire department to get me back up, but I'm gonna get on that floor. And it was probably like 10 months later that after I started journey of requirements that needed to be fulfilled in order to get the surgery done. You can't just walk into a clinic and just say, "Hey, I want to have a vertical sleeve gastrectomy. Please remove 80% of my stomach." They tend to be a little cautious, and it's no joke. It's not an easy fix. It's not a magic bullet. It's a lifestyle change for sure. I mean, it's drastic. It's drastic. There is no reversing it. You can't just grow a new stomach. And you got to learn to make peace with your brains, your head, your
Yeah.
body, your mind. You got to make peace with all of it before you get this done. But it's
And
so
that's
worth it.
it's oh my God, it's so worth it. What's so funny about you is I didn't realize you were like me. You talk with your hands a lot,
Oh
and
yeah.
the reason I know that is because your phone keeps moving, and I feel I might have to put a disclaimer that this episode might cause epilepsy
Yeah.
for too long because
Right.
you're moving around a lot. Um, so I'm curious when you decided to have the surgery and you had that first consultation.
Yeah.
About how long was the process for you before you actually had your surgery day?
It was almost 10 months.
Oh, it was longer time.
It was a long time.
Okay.
I was a smoker, and I was told by the surgeon I had to be completely nicotine free, and they were going to test me randomly without telling me, and they were going to do it within a like a 6 month period, and I had to be nicotine free, or I would have to start from the beginning again.
Wow.
And I'm an Aries. Patience is not one of my virtues, and that wasn't happening. So I had to really. That was very tough. It was quitting smoking, but I did it. Um, it's another story. I started back up, but not perfect.
Right.
But I didn't start up. I was smoke free almost 2 years before I went back to it. But anyway, I'm working on that monkey as we speak. Um, one battle at a time.
That's all you can do. But you know what?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one of the most common things that I didn't know at the time, I didn't realize how common transfer addiction was. And, you know, when you're giving up food and you use food is basically your crutch for life for so long, and then you can't eat these things or use it as a source of overcoming, you know, sadness or whatever emotions you have, we often will find another vice to pick up.
Oh yeah.
Um, and so whether it's smoking or drinking or gambling or sex or whatever it is, like, you know, so I totally understand it. So we're not one to judge anybody. Like nobody's
No.
perfect, but
No.
you can only really focus on just one thing at a time. And as
That's
long as
right.
you're working today
That's right. You got to give it 110% too. You can't just go it half in. And you know, I still, even 3 years out, I still belong to groups on Facebook because I still have questions and I try to be helpful to people I was one of those people that were just going into it at one time. Now I have 3 years of success behind me and I'm proud of myself for the work. And it's like I said, it's no magic bullet, it's no easy fix. Anyone that ever says, "Oh, you took the easy way out," no, it is so not easy. I mean, if you think if it's easy measuring everything for the rest of your life, or at least eyeballing a half a cup of food. I always say I'm good between 4 and 6 bites of food, and then it's over. So I mean, and I love to cook. I love to cook. Always have. I'm a great cook. It's probably one of my biggest problems was I'm one of my biggest fans of my cooking.
right.
And I still cook, but I just freeze it or I give it away to my kids, and that's the end of that. But
And then, but
I love.
I was gonna say, have you found yourself like looking for like or trying to find healthier variations of some of the favorite things that you like to cook?
Absolutely. And I've given up everything. I try to give up all white foods. Like I don't eat any bread.
Okay.
Very very little pasta. And if I eat any kind of a pasta, it's got to be protein pasta.
Yeah.
And for the amount I eat, it's not making that big of a difference. But in my own mind, it does because I'm still trying to work that protein in.
Yeah.
That's still one of my top 3 pain in my ass that I try to get protein in.
Yeah.
Very difficult to get for me, they want me to get 60 grams of protein in a day. I don't think I've ever hit that mark. Ever.
Really? I think, I do think that you get to a certain point where you can obviously tolerate like slightly more foods and stuff, even like after 3 years. I know that I think for me, they say like to shoot between 60 and 80 grams every single day. Um, so I can get it like, so I'll eat like Greek yogurt because Greek yogurt has slightly
Yes.
more protein, or I'll eat, lean meats and stuff with and I try to eat the protein first over the carbs, even though I really love carbs. And then, like you said, like my family's Italian, like giving up pasta entirely was really tough for a long time. But then I found variations. Like I found like a protein pasta that's really good, or I'll do like a spaghetti squash or a zoodle or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the protein pasta I found was really good.
Absolutely.
I was not
Even
prepared.
like Kraft macaroni, and she even jumped on board to become healthier. They have by Kraft, they make um, their elbow pasta with
Yeah.
beans,
Really?
with white bean. It's
Okay.
delicious. You would never ever know. I bought it, and you'd never know that it's substitute. It's not. I mean, it's still pasta. It
Yeah.
has the same texture, flavor, everything, but it's got more protein in it, and it's healthier
Oh, I'm definitely gonna
as
look for
far
that.
as
I
macaroni and cheese
I
goes.
don't eat mac and cheese. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not.
I don't either.
I
But
love
once
it, but it's like there's no nutritional value to it. But if there's a protein version and I can add like maybe something else to it, then maybe like, oh my god, that sounds good. So I'm curious because you had spent, because how old were you when you had the surgery? You say you're 50,
53.
53 when you had the surgery.
Yes.
So how do you, so that, compared to somebody who was like 20 when they had it, like you're having 53, like you've had so much longer living in this constant lifestyle that you were in. So for you, like, how do you mentally prepare yourself to have this surgery?
I don't, in my mind, I thought I was. I mean, I went through all the requirements. I mean, I had the psychological evaluation, everything, and and that was a non-issue. But
Yeah.
you think you're prepared, and then after the surgery, and now after you're healed after, and you're off the pureed. I think you go into it with the expectation that it's going to be, but the
Hmm.
reality is it's not. It's not a magic bullet, and I see that now. With people, I read I'm thinking of having the surgery, or I just had the surgery. How much did you lose the first 4 weeks? You don't really lose a lot in the first 4 weeks. You're still swollen, your belly, and you've been through a traumatic surgery. You had more than 3/4 of your stomach removed. It's not going to happen overnight. And just because the scale may not move sometimes doesn't mean that there isn't a change happening. That's what happens with stalls. People get very frustrated and they want to swear and throw tantrums. And I was one of them. And
Were
then one day I looked in the mirror after getting off the scale, and instead of breaking the mirror, I was like, damn, is that a cheekbone? And oh my God, I have a collarbone now. Maybe the scale didn't move, but I see definition of my body, not just
Mhm.
flab. And that's a
And
miracle. That's amazing.
and it's so hard because now that you're a few years out, like now because
Mhm.
now, like, some of those frustrations you've been able to find answers for, and like and you've gotten onto the other side of it. But I find that the more people I talk to who are just starting out or in the very beginning stages, that is the most common issue with people is it's been 3 weeks and the scale hasn't moved this week. My sleeve has failed me. What do I do? And like, I feel like you can tell everybody till you're blue in the face, just be patient. It will
Yep.
happen. But I get it when you're in that moment and you feel, and it's hard because we live in a social media world. So you're
Oh
seeing
yeah.
people, I lost 50 pounds this week, and you're seeing all of these great success stories, and you're like, why is it not me? But I keep telling them, I was like, just trust the process. It's going to
Absolutely.
happen for you. And, but again, like I was the same way in the beginning. You were the same way in the beginning. But it's like once you get the wisdom and you've been on the other side for a while, like you wish that you could just beat it into people's head, like it's going to be okay.
Right. And you know what? There's no shame in talking to a professional
Yes.
after you have the surgery. Just because you have a consultation with one before the surgery, that they want to make sure that you understand what you're doing to your body. it's
Right.
it's a serious surgery. It's not a
Yeah.
joke. And after the surgery, I had made the decision to continue with counseling, so I
Good for
could
you.
work through any issues that I had. And if I was struggling with being impatient, and that's something I struggle with often, daily. Um, but yeah, I think people should. I think that should be part of the requirement list, to not just have um, a before visit with a psychological evaluation before the fact, but also continue that. I mean,
Right.
they want you to meet with nutritionists and that sort of thing, and that's all great because you need those people. But sometimes people need just to talk through stressors that might trigger
I
old
agree.
habits and stuff like that. And that's what I did. I had and when I talked it through, it was it brought me back to, this is the beginning of a new lifestyle. It's a
Mhm.
tool. It really is a tool in your proverbial toolbox.
Right.
And you need to remember that it's your most valuable tool. You'll have it for the rest of your life, and you're gonna learn to respect it, and it's gonna respect you right back.
Right.
But um
Yeah, and I was gonna say I agree wholeheartedly with you. Because especially when you first have the surgery in the beginning, you're not thinking about long-term anything. You're thinking about
No.
the pain. You're thinking about, the sutures that you have. You're thinking about the 1 ounce cups. Like, you don't have time to think about day-to-day life stressors. And it's usually not until your body's healed and you're back acclimated, whether it's at work or in your day-to-day activities, when that moment happens and you have a stressful day, like you said, that triggers the need. Like, normally your initial response was, I'm going to go get some ice cream, or I'm going to go, like, have a burger. And you can't do that. So how do you overcome that? And how, like, in that moment, that's why I think, and I didn't realize how big of a problem this was, even for myself, until a while later, that I wish that they kind of encourage you, or maybe it should be part of the required process, is you go through all these steps to have the surgery. And then once you have the surgery, you're committed to like X amount of sessions afterwards in
Yeah,
different stages of your surgery.
exactly. Even if it's quarterly, you
Yeah,
know,
like
I,
a
I,
quarter.
I think that would be so beneficial to new bariatric patients, even if it's just for the first 6 months.
Yeah, I agree, because when you have the surgery, you have to meet with your surgeon like a week later, a month
Right.
later, a couple weeks later, whatever. We should be having some kind of a quick mental health check appointment, even if it's virtually, Zoom or
Because I
something.
one of my biggest problems was, and I'm sure it was one for you and for everybody else. I think it's a generic problem for bariatric patients. It's head hunger. When you
Yeah.
think you're hungry, are you really hungry, or are you just emotionally hungry? You just
Hmm.
want to pass some time by chewing some food. Are you really hungry? Do you really want to eat?
Hmm.
And or if and that was something that I used to never second guess. I used to just go for the food.
Right.
Take a bite, take two bites, whatever. But after the surgery, that change, it doesn't, the feelings don't go away. I mean,
Right.
well, they do to a point. I mean, the hormone that tells you you're hungry is removed, but, and I don't, I think that that's true, because I have to remind myself to eat sometimes, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Some of it was, I was terrified to eat at the beginning. Um, and a lot of it was, I just wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
I just was not hungry. But your body goes through all kinds of changes, and your brain is not processing them like your body. They're two different entities.
Hmm.
And I think that's something that should be investigated and researched further, and made part of the schedule of requirements.
100%. This actually brings up a question that I have for you. And obviously, you and I have talked. If there's anything you don't want to talk about, don't talk about it. Just tell me to shut the fuck up. Because I've noticed that your hormone levels will definitely change
Yeah.
after the surgery. But I'm curious, because you're in your early 50s,
Mm.
was it more escalated because of that, or did it help in any way? Was it better or worse?
Well, I know when I turned 49, I was premenopausal,
Okay.
and um, it kicked into full swing around 50. I was an emotional nutcase,
Okay.
and my weight, I was already extremely heavy. I was over 250 pounds, but when menopause really kicked in after around 50 and a half years old, um, I blew up again, another almost 50 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
And that was effortlessly gaining the weight
Yeah.
from the hormone changes and whatnot. Um, One thing that I wanna also bring to light is, I went through this surgery August 22nd of 2019, just a few months before the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So my experience, after I had the surgery, like, I had to go for I had one follow-up visit right after the surgery, maybe 2 weeks after, and then I had telehealth appointments. And that was very weird, because I felt like I had the opportunity to screw with the doctor if I chose to.
Right.
I could but then I had to think about it, and this is something I talked to my counselor about at the time too. I said, how do they know for sure how much I weigh? Just because I tell them how much I've lost, they don't know for sure because they're not weighing me, they're not measuring me. But who am I really hurting if I do that? And that was something that I had to talk through with my counselor. And I was like, you're absolutely right. I can't mess with this. This is I'm doing this for a reason, and just because I don't have to physically show up in person doesn't
Right.
mean I have a free pass to not, you know, do what I'm supposed to be doing and following my doctor's plan for me. This
Right.
place for a reason. So that was something I didn't have in-person visits to get weighed in in-person visits for dietitians, and that was tricky.
Mm-hmm.
That was very tricky, and we were on lockdown. We were locked down in March. We couldn't even leave the house. Everybody was stuck in the house. There was nowhere to go. So I mean, I went outside to walk a lot. That was my exercise. And also what I had, I didn't do a lot for exercising, but what I did is I had knee replacements. Uh, not your not your usual thing you do after having a big bariatric surgery. You go and have a prosthetic knee. I had
When
knee
your knee
surgery.
surgery, those were after the bariatric surgery.
Yes, I had the
Oh wow.
three surgeries all within 18 months. So the exercise that I had was I did get to go to physical therapy for my knees. Now I was walking with a walker, I was walking with a cane,
Right.
but I was walking, and all the exercises, the squats, and all the little bit of progress that you make after a knee surgery. I think that helped me, excuse me, with exercise, along with walking. But I mean, I didn't. There was no gyms to go to; they were all shut down.
Right.
There
Yeah.
was none of that. So I had a very tricky experience, different than most people would have.
So then I'm curious for you. So usually by the time you get to around 6 months, you're fully healed. You've lost oftentimes almost the majority of the weight at that point, or a huge chunk of it.
Yes,
By then, you can pretty much eat almost anything in moderation. Of course, there might be a couple foods that might trigger things here and there. But so you're finally entering this new phase of just kind of getting acclimated to the new life, like as you were doing. And then boom, everything shuts down. Now you're home. Everybody's mental health goes through the freaking roof and everything. And then
big
you're
time.
also dealing with knee pain. I'm just curious for you specifically, um, because you only really had 6 7 months to really get adjusted to this tool. How was your headspace around that time?
It was tricky. It was tough because cabin fever had set in, and my mother had moved in with me at the time, and that was very stressful. Um, it was it was trying. It was challenging. That was
So what
challenging,
kept you
and
going?
that's another reason that I was glad to have that counselor in place. And it there's no shame in that at all. Anyone that thinks that there's some kind of a taboo, or no, don't be
Yeah.
afraid. You reach out. You need to talk to somebody about anything. Anything's confused. Reach out to a friend, a professional, family. Don't ever hold it
I'm glad
back.
I'm so glad that you said that because I was one of those people my whole life. I always kept everything in. I didn't talk
Mm,
to people about my shit. I
right.
always thought that psychology was very hokey. I thought it was very cliche. But granted, a lot of times our opinions are based on our personal experiences having to do something. And so for me, I had gone to a therapist once in my life when I was younger, and it was literally like watching a television show, and it was like every cliche thing that could happen was happening,
Uh,
like along the lines with like, I don't remember what the reason I had come in there for. I think it had to do with friends or not being able to retain friends because I was so awkward and stuff.
right.
And within the first 5 minutes it was, what's the relationship like with your dad? And I was like, really, like, we're going straight to the dad card right now, like that's what we're doing. And from then it just,
Mommy was here.
I was done. Like I was like, I closed out and I never went since. And it wasn't until like 4 or 5 years ago when I had that breakdown that I found a therapist that I actually bonded with. Like we kind of had a rapport, our interests were,
That's so important.
and I think that was the game changer, is just
That
having
is
somebody that meshes well with you and your personality. You're going to be more inclined to want to talk to them. And I noticed that when I've been more vocal about how I'm feeling and you're getting it out of your system, it's not weighing heavy on you anymore. It's not affecting you. So I,
exactly.
I I feel like I learned later on in life the importance of talking about it, whether it's a professional or a good listener or a friend. Be in the habit of talking it out or talking to
Absolutely.
somebody.
Absolutely. No, no, ever stay, nobody should ever stay locked in their own mind if it's
Yeah.
troubling them. Reach out. And
And
people that they go through, that struggle with weight their whole lives or for a period in their lives, and then they face a surgery, or they face a decision to have the surgery. It's not the magic, it's not an easy fix, and don't ever let anyone that's thinking of having this surgery, it is not easy. It is not. This is for experienced fat people.
we're serious about people.
Yeah, you gotta be professional. You gotta go. You need help. You can't. You gotta do it alone. Yes, but there's
Yeah.
no harm and no shame. It's to your benefit. I promise you, it's to your benefit to talk it out.
100%. You need to talk it out because at the end of the day, we did not get obese overnight. There
No,
are always reasons that
absolutely.
over time made you turn to food as comfort, whether it was some kind of a trauma or a memory or whatever. If you think that it's just going to be forgotten because now you've lost 100 pounds, no, that
Nope.
will hit you randomly in a supermarket. It will hit you randomly at different times unless you go back and rectify the person you were and why you did that. You're
Right.
going to keep having the same issues.
Right. You got to make changes, and it's all about a new lifestyle. When you make the decision to have this surgery, you're leaving. You need to also have a farewell party for that person, because you're not going to be that person anymore. But that's okay,
Yeah.
because the discovery of who you really are is an amazing experience. And I'm still discovering myself, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I never realized I can have fun. That I'm worthy of laughing, and I'm worthy of having friends.
Mhm.
And I'm a good person, and I don't have to be miserable. And that's what I thought I was destined for, a life of misery, and just being a, um, a prisoner
Yeah.
inside my own body. And I literally was at the end of my former self. I was a prisoner to myself,
Mhm.
literally. I literally couldn't flip over in bed. The simplest of tasks was a chore. It was
Yeah.
exhausting. It was exhausting to flip over in bed. It's just crazy things. And you give that person away, but freely. You got
Mhm.
to willingly and freely do it, but you got to make those changes with, and you have to consciously make those decisions every day about what you're going to eat and the choices of food. I mean, I can eat 6 bites of food without a problem. That seventh is going to give me a problem. But if I eat 6 bites of protein and a little bit of vegetable or something with a piece of fruit in it, or I can eat 6 bites of, I don't know, I can have a bite of cheesecake and, I don't know, a fudge pop, or I can eat all junk. I can make
Mhm.
those 6 bites of junk. That's not the lifestyle that I want to live. It's You have to change your habits. That's
And
again where that person comes in. You need to have that person to bounce off of, to talk
100%.
it through. It's a big deal. That other entity, your body and mind, they're not on the same page. And you'll Head hunger is a real thing.
Mhm.
And so many times we ask ourselves, or we reach for food, and but are we reaching for it because are we really hungry, or do we just want to pass time, or forget a painful moment, or something that just happened that was maybe there was road rage, or we had a bad experience with customer service, or a phone call that was upsetting, and then
Right.
we go and reach for something in the fridge. That's the first, and we just look at it like it's a museum. We open the door and stare and stare and stare. And
My favorite is we open it up like 4 times thinking that something's just going to magically
right,
appear this time.
yeah,
Like
like
there's little,
they're gonna show previews of something.
yeah, there's going to be previews. There's little food elves that put in like something like appetizing in there. It's funny. I literally just did that the other day. But I genuinely was hungry. So my rule of thumb now is, because I've learned enough to know, and we had this amazing guest, Kelly Taylor, a couple months ago, who's a bariatric psychologist, and we were
Oh
talking
yes,
about head
yes,
hunger and how oftentimes when we feel hungry, our body's actually dehydrated. So there's kind of like these little steps that I go through now. So if I'm feeling hungry, I'm like, well, how much water have I drank? And if I haven't
right,
had much, I start with the water first. If 20 minutes later I'm still hungry, okay, you're still going to be hungry. And I think that's the biggest misconception that people have, is that you're just never going to be hungry anymore. But no, you're going to be hungry, but
right.
go through the emotions first. Is it dehydration? Is it boredom? Is it a sadness? What's the emotion? And so for me, I was genuinely hungry, but I hadn't gone to the market in a while. So like I went into the fridge and I'm like, oh, there's really nothing appetizing. So then I go into the pantry and I'm like, oh, there's nothing really there either. And then I go and sit down on the couch and I start working. And then like a few minutes later, I go back to the fridge and I'm like thinking it's going to be different. I was like, maybe I missed something. And you'll,
Yeah,
I finally
maybe
did
I
it
missed something.
3 or 4 times, and like there was yogurt, and I'm like, I don't think yogurt's gonna like satisfy it enough. But then I had the yogurt, and the craziest thing is my eyes are still bigger than my stomach to this day.
Oh yeah,
I still think I'm gonna be able to tolerate more, and I'm like, that yogurt's not gonna fill me up. And then I have the yogurt, and I'm like, oh god, I feel good. And then I have to like let it settle for a while, so even that's an issue that almost 8 years later, I still struggle with. I still think it's
oh
not going to
yeah.
be good enough. Or I eat too
I
fast.
know one thing that I struggle with is I I, I made a pact with myself that I after I ate, regardless if it was a meal or just a bite of something, or I wouldn't lay down or sit down. I would I would stay vertical.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes I don't have a choice, because it just, even after eating just a few bites of food, I still get that restricted feeling. I'm
Yeah.
full, and I don't want to lay down. But there's sometimes that I'll go to just sit down. I'll be like, nope, you're gonna go and just, you know, I'll clean a drawer, or I'll just do something, for a few minutes, and then
And that's smart, because I don't know what your doctor's instructions were, but I vaguely remember that mine were not to eat or drink anything like
right,
2
that was an
hours
issue too.
before you go to bed. And I
Right.
used to be like a late night snacker, so I wasn't able to do that
Sleep
anymore.
eating over here, yeah.
Yeah, but even now, I don't follow that to a T. Like I still drink water up until the time I go to bed, but still occasionally, if I drank slightly too much water and the minute I lay down, like I kind of feel the acid reflex
Oh yeah.
or whatever. So I still have to be mindful of it. But I'm curious for you, because you have the sleeve, correct?
Yes.
Did you have any complications, like as far as recovery or afterwards, or was it pretty much smooth sailing?
Actually, it was, knock on some wood, it was pretty smooth sailing.
Okay.
The only real issue that I am concerned with, that is bothering me to this day, is loose skin, which most of the time can't be helped. But I've always been short. I'm 5'3". I've
Mhm.
always been compact. I have a short torso, short legs, short arms, short neck.
Okay.
My my jawline is square, and it always has been. So when I was heavy, I was poofed out big time. I looked like I had stuff in my cheeks all the time, but I didn't. It was just, I had a big face. I still have a square jawline. And because I've lost so much weight, the skin sags. It ages you. There's no getting around that too. But I mean, I wear my wrinkles and I wear my aging like badges of freaking honor. I mean, I earn those, and I, as much as I want to have the surgery to the plastic surgeries to have that removed, I didn't let it prohibit me from wearing Daisy Dukes this summer and wearing the shortest of shorts and not thinking anything of it because I look damn good in them now.
Hell yeah.
And I deserve to wear them. But the one thing that is a pain to me is on my face and the corners of my mouth. If I keep a stoic face, it always looks like I'm frowning, and my skin droops in the corners of my mouth. And I don't know if it's moisture from saliva. I mean, I'm not drooling, for God's sake. So
Right.
I'm not a babbling idiot, but sometimes I am. Yeah. That's another show. I'm coming back. I get these cracks, and I had a doctor look at it because they were so painful. I mean, they stick around for a week or two, and they're painful as hell. You can't laugh, you can't eat, you have to brush your teeth. And it's called angular colitis. It's just these little slices. They don't have blisters. They don't have. They get red, and they can get infected if you don't keep them clean. But I took my doctor's advice, and I just have to use a protect like petroleum jelly or Aquaphor. I got to keep it moist with a protective barrier in the corners of my mouth. So I live on chapstick.
Did he tell you what causes it?
He said it was the weight loss.
So I don't want to say it's common, but is it somewhat common?
I guess for some people, depending on their bone structure.
Interesting.
How much weight they had to lose, where the weight was. I had a big face, and I lost a lot of weight in my face.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds funny that I keep emphasizing how big my face was, but it was huge.
This big face that you had. But you know what? But I get what you mean. My face was very, very round. I had my chin just hung down. And I think that was the biggest thing that surprised me is watching looking in the mirror, and I was like, there's a chin, and I can see a definite I'm so not used to that.
Oh, me, it's my neck, and I see veins in my neck and the collarbone, and I'm wearing a t-shirt today because it's not 100 degrees out, but I mean, I've been wearing tank tops and stuff like that, and I mean, you can see my bones, and I'm so proud of myself I never in a million years imagined that I would be successful because nobody believed in me. Yeah. I never had a great support system. I became my own cheerleader, and I groveled my way to where I am today as far as my success with my journey.
So you didn't have anybody supporting you when you
were really. No, not really. They say they do, but they're not really there for you. Those type of people that say, "Oh, I'll be," if you need anything, let me know. Just give me a call, and I'm here. No, all talk, backing it up.
I feel like that's one of the biggest things that people do is it's always I see it a lot of times on social media now. If you need anything, just reach out.
Yeah, I'm always here. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people say that because they know that they're not going to reach out. So it's almost like it gives them, at least I tried kind of attitude, And I do know what it's like to not be one to ask for help. And then when you do, and they're not there for you, it's extremely
frustrating as hell.
Oh. And then all the times that I bent over backwards for this person and I don't ask for anything in return. And then when you, so I definitely get it. And you have me now.
I have you. And you have me. I got you, babe.
I got you, babe. We're dating ourselves with that song, by the way. Probably. So So I'm curious what your advice would be to somebody who's thinking about having the surgery right now, who's on the
Run,
fence.
don't walk.
Just go.
Get it done. Don't wait. Don't wait till you're 53 years old. If you've lived your life, if if you've tried all these diets with successes and failures and
Yeah,
successes and failures, the seesaw. You know it.
yeah,
They know, who you are. There's our country, the United States is you know inundated with obesity, and if it's something that it is important to you, do not wait. Do it. If you have, even if it's, I did it for myself, but I also did it because I wanted a different life with my grandson. I wanted to be around longer. I also had, besides my grandson, I also was told by my doctor at 297 pounds, 5'3", that if I didn't lose weight, I probably wouldn't be around to see 60. So that was also pretty. I was pretty impressionable on that one.
I think that was probably the biggest thing that made me sign the dotted line. Is I was with my mom and the doctor. I was really nervous, and the doctor said, "Look at your mom." And my mom was young. I think she was 22 when she had me, so she only had me beat by 20 years. And I look at my mom, and he goes, "If you don't do something, you're not going to get to that age." And I think that was enough for me to be like,
Right.
it really drives it home that we're not immortal.
No,
Like,
we're not. We are not.
we're not.
And I'll tell you what, the discovery, the journey, and it is a journey, and it's such an appropriate word for it, because it's also an adventure. You
Mhm.
can look at it that way too, because there's so many new things you're going to learn about yourself and about eating and nutrition and health, and I mean, I never thought I'd learn um, measurements to the degree that I do now.
Mhm.
I know what a quarter cup of food is.
Right.
I can nail it. You know,
Yeah.
but before, you don't normally keep that in the forefront of your mind. But
Yeah.
when you only have a certain amount to work with that's important to you, you got to plan accordingly. So,
Yeah.
you know, um, don't wait. I say it, if you're in your, if you only have 20 pounds to lose, there's a healthy weight. You can talk to somebody and get some help to lose that. You don't need surgery for that. But if it's become a problem for many years, and it's changing your life and not in a positive way, do not hesitate, because there's no downers. I can't see one. And
Yeah.
I've talked to people that have had problems, and they're minimal, very minimal, and nobody has regretted it. My only regret is not doing it 20 years ago.
It's usually one of the biggest common regrets.
I'm
So, and then I'm curious because you did it later on. I see often that there's women on Facebook and in like groups and stuff that are in their 50s or even their 60s, and they're like, "I'm too old to do this," or like
Oh
they're
God,
so
no.
scared. So because like you were 50 when you did it, like what advice do you give them, or like is there anything that they need to expect that might be different than somebody else?
Um, Again, just don't wait, and my God, push people out of your way. If don't associate with negativity. You got to run from that. You got to, if there's anything negative in your path, you have to remove those obstacles. You do
Yeah.
need to do the legwork before you. If I say run, and I do mean it, don't wait years to make this decision. If you make it, stick to it, because it's going to change your life and for the better. I have energy that I never even dreamed of. I mean, from the waist up, I'm 29. From the waist down, because I'm only a year out from having one of my knee surgeries.
Yeah.
My right knee, it only made a year, April 5th, that I had my knee surgery. So I'm still I'm still on the mend for that. I lost my train of thought.
You're saying like just go out and do it, and
Ah, yeah.
even though that you're
Don't
still
wait.
feeling, and you have so
Don't.
much more
You need to
energy.
remove the obstacles and negative people out of your life.
Yeah,
Negative anything, and you don't think that you got to remove the words can't, because you can, and you can, and you will, and you
yeah,
do it, and it just happens, and it's amazing, the transformation, and I can't you got to use the, the cliche caterpillar butterfly thing,
yeah.
because you might be that in that cocoon stage, but oh my god, you're going to be the most beautiful butterfly, and you're going to see the world through eyes that you didn't think belonged to you.
And it's so worth it. So
It
worth
is so worth it.
it. So for you, what was one of your like your most profound NSVs or moments that you're like F yes?
Say that again.
What was like one of your favorite excuse me, NSVs to date or non-scale victories like for you that you're like this is like the best feeling?
Crossing my legs.
I feel like that's everybody's. That's so
Oh
crazy.
my god, the first time I crossed my legs, I had to make an announcement.
Right?
And I was like, do you see this? Do you see what's going on here? And I was pointing to my legs. I'm like, look what I just did. I mean, I made such a big deal out of it. I was like, and I want to thank the Academy. And, it was, I was so excited that I could cross my legs. And then I think, I don't know, I guess it's the thing with the legs. I have a thigh gap. That's a big deal to me.
Big deal.
That's a huge deal. When I'm standing still, straight, and my feet are together, you can see through them.
See,
That
I
blows my freaking mind.
and I love that because I mine is so minuscule
But
because
it's there, right?
it's slightly there, but my problem is because my thighs do hang like because of all
Yeah.
of the skin,
Yep. That's my
kind of
issue too.
it kind of takes that away. But I can see like the smallest little gap. It's very tiny. But yeah,
But if we
that's true.
had that, if I had the skin surgery, the removal, I know.
Oh yeah, game changer.
I was
I
I
feel
was
like.
gonna say you could park a truck, but that'd be another show again.
I feel like we're gonna have to just start another show,
I think so.
and it's just gonna be the ramblings of Sherry and Christine, off topic, off the cuff, no
Road trip.
heart hold bars or whatever. Um, so what is something that you want to work towards right now? Because I'm assuming you haven't accomplished everything you want to accomplish. Like, what
Oh
are some
God,
of
no.
the keys that you want to start working towards?
This is where you have been so inspirational. Um, Ballroom dancing. I've always I one of my favorites. I've always loved Dancing with the Stars, and I just always admired people that could do that, that had the energy. And I mean, you watch Dancing with the Stars, and I give those people so much credit. It's not easy. I mean, you got to have you got to work out to get the body to have it, but the energy. I mean, I the quick step, and I mean, they're running, they're sprinting and dancing, and that's craziness. But I want to do it. I want to try it. I have the energy now. I mean, I'm sure it would kick my ass, but I want to try it.
But you know what? It's one of those things where it kicks your ass, but you're smiling
Oh
while you're
yeah,
sweating
I'm
and
just
while
laughing
you're
the whole time and having a great time doing it.
that's me 100%. And I love because Marlon is my teacher or whatever, and it hurts. Like certain moves, I'm like, why am I doing this? And he goes, because if it hurts, you're doing it right.
There
I'm
you
like, I'm
go.
gonna be right because this is very dancing should be fun and but okay, so have you looked into it yet? Have you found a place yet?
I have found a town. I have looked into it, but I
Okay.
haven't actually followed through and made the phone calls yet and followed through on that. But I know where it is, so that much closer. But this has all been like within the last couple of weeks that I've been
Which is
uh,
true because you didn't tell
I've
me
been
about
actually scouting out, trying to find shoes. I know I'm going to need to have some decent shoes to learn, and I'm just so stoked. that I want to do that. I
I am
want to
so
learn ballroom dancing.
And I'm gonna stalk you and be like, "Have you called yet? Have you called yet? Did you get shoes yet? What's going on?" Because I want to see video. I want to see like your progression. I want
Oh
to see.
yeah,
Yeah, she's on the phone. Whoever
I'm
that
on the
is.
phone.
Which I can't even freaking believe this, but like we're almost out of time already.
Oh my God, time flies when you're having fun.
I know. We literally have less than 5 minutes. So before I go, and like start wrapping it up, what do you think that you've learned most about yourself in the last 2 years, almost 3 years? 3 years.
I'm stronger than I thought I was. I am. I can do things that I didn't think I could, and it didn't break me. I thought I have been through some struggles and some. I've had some trials and tribulations in my life outside of the surgery, and I never thought I'd make it through those. And I think the self-esteem, the helped me immensely. The self-confidence
Yes.
that you can do this. Um, it's incredible. That's worth the price of admission in and of itself. Just the self-esteem, knowing that there's nothing out of your reach.
No.
If you can see it, if you can picture it in your mind, and I can picture me wearing those red sequin shiny dancing shoes, I can see them.
I can see it.
I can see them, and I can see me salsaing. I can see it.
Dude,
It's gonna happen.
I see you with your fiery red hair and
Oh
this
yeah.
sexy like red.
I want one of those red rhinestone dresses with the
Yes.
fringe. Oh, and it's gonna be short as hell.
Oh,
Oh, it's gonna be cool. I can't wait.
I cannot wait. And you're gonna send me pictures.
Oh,
And
damn!
videos.
It's gonna be videoed. I'm gonna have this recorded. You
I
kidding
want
us?
like play by plays of everything because I'm telling you that, and you and I have talked about this. That was something I was obsessed with since I was little, and that I was one of those
And I
geeky
love
kids.
watching those videos of you because your face says it all. You've got that. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And you got that look of eye of the tiger in you. You
Yeah,
know,
and
you're going for it.
when you start looking at these things, going one day I wish, or that will never be me. And there's certain times, sometimes you forget, how far you've come, but once in a while you're in this moment and you're like, and you literally just picture like, I never thought I was ever gonna do this. And you can't contain like the natural smile that comes out. You're just like,
Oh
this is
yeah.
the greatest feeling in the world. It's like you won the lotto.
I know every Wednesday, today's laundry day. Every Wednesday when I take the clothes out of the dryer and I hold up my shorts and I'm folding them, I'm like, whose are these? Who's it? How did these get in here? And then I realized, oh, those are my clothes. It
Yeah.
blows my mind. Those clothes are in my laundry. My laundry basket isn't full anymore because the clothes are so much smaller. I went from a size 26 to a size I can fit in 4s and 6s now. It's it's crazy, crazy.
I
I go into a store and I see a size. I look at. I automatically go for the big sizes. That still happens. I have to consciously say I'm in the wrong department. I'm in the wrong section. I got to get on the other side of the rack. And
I still do that. I still keep grabbing the bigger sizes, think that that's gonna
always,
fit. Yeah. I don't even, and
even
I don't know if it ever really goes away either. I don't know.
I was asked by a family member at one time. I'm frugal with my money because I'm on a fixed income, so I'm frugal with my money. I don't go without. You know, I'm a smart
Right.
shopper, and
You just know what you're
um,
doing.
I, I I was buying clothes because you go through so many sizes when you're going on this journey. You change sizes frequently, so I was buying clothes at like Goodwill and places like that, where you're letting other people pay top dollar for the brand names, and then you're scooping them up after they don't need them anymore, or they outgrew them. And I was buying, you know, new jeans from these places, new shorts. I'm thinking ahead as I'm buying. And this person said something to me like, "Why do you need so many clothes? Or why are you buying so many clothes?" I said, "Because I can.
Yeah.
Because I can. I
Seriously.
never could before." And I'll tell you what, nothing is black or navy blue or dark colors. I'm going for tie-dyed and red and rainbows, and you give me color now. I'm going red.
I never thought I would
Brighter the
dress
better.
colors and light colors or wear white in
Oh
public.
my God.
What? It is freaking insane. Chrissy, I
Absolutely.
freaking love you so hard, and like
I love you too.
I'm so glad that you came and joined me
Me
today.
too. Me too. I'll have to come back again.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I hope that you're gonna come back
Oh,
again
I'd
because
love to. I'd
look
love
at
to.
this. These are all my notes. I have like pages and pages of notes, and we don't get to anything, and that's pretty much my MO. And then I already knew that we were just gonna shoot the shit the entire time because that's just how
Right.
we are anyway. Um, but before we go, do you have any parting words of wisdom or anything that you want to add?
Enjoy the journey because you're only going to do it once. You're only going to do it once, and you don't want to miss a beat. You don't want to miss anything. You know that song that Aerosmith sings, "I don't want to miss a thing"?
Yeah,
You don't want to miss this. It's incredible. I can't emphasize how magical it is. It is a journey. It is an adventure, and it's so worth it. And I have a saying that I borrowed it from some place that I saw it, but it's nothing tastes as good as thin feels, and I say that all the time. I love it.
I
Nothing
love
tastes as good
that.
as thin feels,
In
and I
quote.
say it all the time. It's true.
Yeah, that blew me away. I absolutely love that. It is so true. And I think that's the best way to just even end today. Um,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
Oh,
coming.
you're so welcome. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
You're 100% coming back. I'm getting a
Absolutely.
full report on your first dance lesson. You're
Oh,
coming.
I can't wait to go dress shopping and find that red dress
I am so
with the
excited. And send
rhinestones
me
and the red
a picture.
shoes. Oh,
I'm, I'll have you come on and we'll talk
I'm
about.
gonna wear it.
Wear the dress. If you
I'll
wear
wear it.
this, okay, the next time you're on, if you wear your sparkly dress, I'll put on a dance dress and we'll just do the whole show dressed all
I
sparkly.
love it. I
Okay,
love it.
fair enough. So, for those of you guys watching at home, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much to
Thank
Christine.
you.
If you have follow up questions for her or want to know more for when she comes back
Ask
next
me
year,
anything.
ask her anything. Send me a message, send her a message. And until then, a quick reminder for Friday's episode's another exciting episode where
Oh,
we're
I
going to
can't
have
wait for
Boys
Friday.
Club, where we're going to have Ken, Bobby, and Chris all talking about the surgery from the boys' perspective and how it's different from us girls. So I'm very excited for that too.
It's
Christine's
gonna
going to
be a
be tuning
great
in.
show.
I'm excited.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. And until then, I hope you guys all have an amazing day today. Do something today that will make you better tomorrow. And we will see you next time.
Bye.